Hello and welcome to this next session on basic electrical repairing. In the earlier video, we were speaking about joints, and we also learned how to make a straight joint. You can see the joint placed in front of you. A straight joint is essentially something that is required when you have to extend the wire because the wire is short or you don't have enough quantity of wire in a particular place. In this video, we will talk about another joint called a T-joint. The T-joint, as the name says, is usually a joint that's made or that looks like the English alphabet T. Now, T-joint is necessary when you need to connect a particular line to a different line. Let us say there is a particular line that's going through in the circuit, and you want to connect something else from there, and you want to connect some other equipment, then you will need to connect it using an extension like this. So, this can be connected at 90 degrees to an existing line, and this looks like a T, and that's the reason why this is called as a T-joint. So, T-joint is typically joint in the middle of a particular line, which basically means that you will have to cut open the middle portion of a particular line and then connect it to a new line. So, in order to cut open the middle portion of a line, what we will need is we will need about 2 inches of space in the center where we can place the joint. So, in order to get that 2 inches, first of all we measure 2 inches in the side, and we will remove the insulation for up to 2 inches on one end of the line. We are again using the wire stripper here. Be very careful that you don't press it too hard, otherwise the wire stripper can cut the core wire inside. So, we have removed the insulation now for about 2 inches, and then we will need to measure about 3 inches additionally here and push the insulator to the corner again. So, we are measuring 3 inches here, we are making a cut here, and once we make a cut on the insulator here, we are going to move this insulator to the end. So, when we move this insulator to the end, you will effectively have around 2 inches of open core wire visible to you in the center, and this is where we will be connecting the joint. So, let us slide out this insulator till the end, and now what you have in the center is about 2 inches of open space that will be used for the T-joint. So, this is an easy way to make space for the joint in the middle of the wire. So, from this point we are going to be connecting another line to provide supply to a different line. So, before we join it, we will have to ensure we twist this and intertwine it tightly. This again, as mentioned earlier, will avoid the possibility of electric spark and prevent any fire hazard. So, we have twisted it around tightly, and now we will connect the new line to this particular aspect. The new line wire has already been cut out, and we have already seen how to cut this out in the previous video. We have taken about 4 inches of insulation out of this. So, roughly around 4 inches have been removed, just as the way we did in the previous video. So, roughly 4 inches, and then we will twist the wire for about 1 inches from the insulation material. So, we measured 1 inches, and then we will twist that part to ensure that this particular part is tight and leaves no room for any electrical spark. So, once we have tightened this, you will have 3 cores which are spread out on top, and these 3 cores need to be joined to the wire that we have stripped out a little while ago. Straighten these out, remove any bends in them, and once you have done this, we will use the emery paper or sandpaper to remove any carbon. We learnt about this in the previous video also. This helps in soldering it very well. So, we will remove the carbon using an emery or sandpaper, and we do it on all the 3 cores. Once we have done that, we are now going to place it on the other wire and join them. So, we have placed it in the center, and then we are twisting the wire on one side. So, first of all, one core wire is twisted on the right hand side of the joint. Again, tighten it very clearly. The second core needs to be wound on the left hand side of the T-joint. So, as you can see, we are going to wind it around on the left hand side, again winding it very tightly to ensure that there is no loose space there and there should be no loose contact at any point. So, we have tightened it on the second side, and the third core is going to be tightened in the bottom side of the joint here. So, the left and right are done, and now we will tighten the third core around the bottom portion of the wire. So, we are now winding it against the bottom wire and ensuring that it is wound tightly. Now, once this is wound, we will use the wire cutter to ensure we cut out any unwanted portion here, and we have been able to make the T-joint. So, as mentioned, the T-joint is essential when you want to extend the line to a completely different line or different direction. We will be using the T-joint, and as you can see, this is called a T-joint primarily because it it resembles the shape of the English alphabet T. This joint also needs to be soldered and then wound with the insulation tape in order to complete the joint. Now, we will learn about soldering and insulation in the next video. Continue learning. Thank you very much.